A special shout out to SCAN's event planning committee that made today possible. So each of you have played a unique role to support SCAN's launch, so let's please give them all a round of applause. We are so glad that you're here with us today. And we're here today with great momentum in LA. And like Chris mentioned, we're excited to expand and support partnerships throughout all the 10 counties that we're aiming to serve throughout Southern California. Many of us have seen companies from across many industries use the model of apprenticeship to find and develop skilled talent for their workforce needs. From Accenture and IBM developing software engineers in IT, to CVS Health developing pharmacy technicians in healthcare, to Aon developing multiple pathways in business and marketing roles, to Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin developing engineers in aerospace. We have example after example right here in SCAN, and many more if I had time to list all of them. In all these programs, you see companies finding and developing the talent they need, as well as individuals from different backgrounds finding opportunities to build meaningful careers and transform their lives. It really is a win for everyone involved. So if you're here and you're interested in a dependable and skilled talent pipeline for your company, we want to make this as easy as possible for you by meeting with you to understand your unique needs and by connecting you to training partners and experts who can help. We want to make it simple to see how the model of apprenticeship can meet your talent needs, and we want to show you exactly how you get started. And if you're here from a college, training provider, support service organization, foundation, or any other type of partner, we want to connect you with other organizations within our network so you can expand the impact of your work as well. If you want to learn more or figure out how you can get started, please reach out to us by sending us an email at scan@sbwib.org. But lastly, I want to share what we can do together. Our main goal that we are pursuing as a network. By 2029, we're setting a goal of creating at least 3,000 new apprenticeship opportunities trained and hired through our network. That's 3,000 lives being changed, who might not have had access to opportunities, but will now be able to launch meaningful careers and enable them to put food on the table and pay for dance lessons and medical bills and soccer games and further education. And that's also 3,000 skilled workers who will now be equipped and ready to contribute meaningfully to the businesses that power our region's economy. I will close with this. If we're honest, we're here today because we are not satisfied with the status quo. Too many companies are struggling to find enough skilled workers to support their present and future workforce needs. And too many people from all walks of life are struggling to find pathways and opportunities into meaningful careers so they can put food on the table and live out the dreams they have for their lives. We're here to tackle these challenges head on by building the programs that will connect these two groups and allow for them to be each other's solution. It's an honor to be a part of this collective effort with you all, an effort that is bigger than any one of us, but that we all have a unique role to fulfill. So you have a place in this movement, and I'm excited to see what we might do together. Thank you. I also have the privilege of being today's event MC, so without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Jim Limbaugh up to the stage. Jim serves as the president of West LA College, and we're happy he's here with us today. So let's give a warm welcome to Jim.
Well, good morning, everyone. You know, it's interesting when you see a picture of somebody and it doesn't really look like the person that knows you. I mean, I don't know where that picture came from. So, I had and I'm here because we have a strong apprenticeship program, but more importantly, that we get some broader comments. Now, there's an upside to the Southern California economy. Our region's employers are continually adapting to new technologies to remain competitive in the marketplace, and that's many of you all, which is why our region plays a crucial role in fueling the state's economy, which in turn drives the national economy. Now there's a downside. Many regional residents face challenges in acquiring the necessary credentials to compete for high-wage, high-tech jobs for various reasons. Despite having a promising workforce, there's still a gap between employers' needs and the ambitions of those seeking careers. So today we convene to recognize an important component of our workforce development initiative. It's apprenticeships. So appropriately during National Apprenticeship Week, we stand together to launch the Southern California Apprenticeship Network. And I'm honored to represent the Los Angeles Regional Consortium and our 19 community colleges in the county as part of this important initiative. Now question, how many of you knew there were 19 colleges in this district? Okay, you win a prize. There are actually 19 of them, 9 of them in the LA district. The LA district serves over 200,000 students. It's the largest community college system in the world. And then there are standalone wonderful colleges like El Camino, Santa Monica, that type of thing. But all together, it is a consortium where we band together our respective talents and expertise in order to support, in this case, apprenticeships and workforce needs. So, the best way I can explain what the colleges do is to talk about my college. Now, you have to understand. When you become a president, you have to do certain things, right? But you're also required to proselytize like heck about your institution. So goes the proselytization. Okay. West Los Angeles College, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a school of about 10,000 students over in Culver City, is a registered U.S. Department of Labor and California Division of Apprenticeship sponsor of 6 occupations. Over the last 2 years, West has served over 250 registered apprenticeships in the occupations of dental assistant, early childhood educator, and aircraft mechanic. And by the way, we're opening a second bachelor's degree in avionics. It'll be the only one of its kind in the country, so just keep that in mind as you're thinking about the aircraft industry. Each of these apprenticeships earned a West LA College certificate achievement and is now getting paid journey worker wages in their profession. West is also the local education agency for over 15 registered apprenticeship sponsors through the state of California. West is the lead institution in a $12 million 5-year apprenticeship grant in partnership with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. Our goal is to generate 5,000 apprenticeships nationally, and we're about 4,500, and 500 in the state of California, and we're moving towards that. And also, you all have heard about the green and blue economy. West is, I love saying this, West is the only school in the state with a degree in climate change studies. We're the only school with California Center for Climate Change Education, and we'll be developing apprenticeships for the blue and green economy because a recent study came out that said the greatest percentage of the blue and green jobs in California are in LA County. So we're proud to do that. Additionally, the state of California is investing $57 million to the California Community College Chancellor's Office to establish and scale innovative apprenticeship programs. So together with our forward-thinking partners and companies, we stand ready to help you achieve your career goals, and we're committed to rolling up our sleeves with you and partnering with you. Thank you. When you're speaking, watch for the woman in the orange, and she'll tell you to stop. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Up next, we have Doug Howell, the California State Director from Region 6, the U.S. Department of Labor. Let's give a warm welcome for Doug.
Hey, how do I follow up Jim? That's some great information from the college. I'm going to talk to you today about what new programming came out with the Department of Labor. It's we call it our Registered Apprenticeship Academy. And then there is a slideshow, hopefully it comes on.
There you go.
Excellent. So I'm excited to talk to you today about what the Registered Apprenticeship Academy is. It came out in a soft launch in June of last year, and then we made the official launch just this week since it is National Apprenticeship Week. It's an opportunity on our website for the ability to go somewhere to find some more information about what a registered apprenticeship is, how to move it forward, and it gives you a lot of quality information on training modules for apprenticeships. So we launched it in June 22nd, 23. It was a long time coming. The OA leadership knew that the registered apprenticeship expanded and would be necessary for the organization to be more efficient, effective, and standardized to support our stakeholders' learning needs. We are thrilled that the idea became a reality. So we had some of the background about it, was the June launch. Our goal is to inform and educate our stakeholders and learn to modernize and existing the modules that are available to it. For the launch was June, and now it's National Apprenticeship Week. Our phase 1 is the access to resources and training materials for the Registered Apprenticeship Academy website, and then the phase 2 is to customize these materials and for learning pathways for RA stakeholders and groups and organized for their learners. So there's 6 categories or catalogs. We have registered apprentices, we have registered apprenticeship sponsors, we have the Department of Labor funded investment partners, we have state apprenticeship agencies like the DAS here, we have federal partners, and we have the Office of Apprenticeship. So we have a category just for our staff to go and look at and view for ourselves for more training purposes. There's 26 courses currently on there right now with over 47 resources for us to look at. Okay. So when you go to apprenticeship.gov, there is the RA Academy right at the very top there. It's circled there for you. That's the easy access point to get to it. Or you could also use the QR code. It's QR code that's on the screen here right now. And if you don't get a chance to snap it now, I did bring the code out on the front table over there. There's a copy of the code there. This is a direct link to it, so you get an opportunity to get a chance to take a look at it. Next slide. There you go. Hit it again one more time for me. There you go. So as you click on the plus sign there where the first line goes to, that's where you give it opportunity and it opens up the next screen, and then as you click on the different individual green areas, a video will pop up. The video is a tutorial on the required catalog and information for there. It gives you an opportunity to research and guide. Like this one is Chad Alshire. He's one of our national office staff. A great picture of him going up there. He gives you the guides on the regulations and guiding directions for the direction of the material that's inside there. Okay, let's give a few minutes of discussion or a quick. I just want to ask a couple questions. Has anybody been to the Academy website yet and taken a look at it yet? Very excellent. See a few of you. And what are your opinions of it so far?
I took the slide that you sent me up front and then just kind of took a quick look at it. So I haven't really explored too much, just glanced at it. But
Do you think
definitely
anybody would give honest criticism of a website in a public forum like this?
startup apprenticeships, like where
Yeah,
do you go?
yeah, you got to. Yeah, you need the feedback. I think you do, but this puts them in a weird setting. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you should walk up to him after he finishes. I'm going to take him off stage for an interview, but he'll
And
go
also
back in
gives
and
an
present.
opportunity.
I haven't
As
looked at
this
it yet. I was just
process grows, our academy is not just there's gonna be new information all the time. So please don't just look at it once and be like, oh, I looked at it once. It's gonna change all the time. We're gonna add more courses to it. We're adding new material to it. We're talking about possibly on a daily basis, depending on when material comes out and everything like that. So it's an opportunity for everybody to just take a look at it. It does, as someone who does not know anything about apprenticeship, gives them an opportunity to learn on that side of it, or someone who has an apprenticeship program already in operation, gives you the opportunity to learn from the best from other programs and other people out there, because we have some better quality programs that are giving their testimonies on what they did, why they did certain things for us. So, and I just wanted to end this with a quick note. Since this is National Apprenticeship Week, and everybody, as the Department of Labor, we look at numbers, we count events and everything like that. As of this morning, we had 180 events for Region 6, which is all the West Coast, so that's great that we beat last year's of 145 by 35 more program events. So I appreciate the SCAN group for inviting me here today. We do have more events this week. I'll be attending all, but it's just a great honor to be here today and speaking with you. I will be in the back if anybody has any questions about DOL programs. Let me know if I can support or help in any way. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Burns, Deputy Chief at the California Division of Apprenticeship Standards. So let's give her a warm welcome as well.
Happy National Apprenticeship Week, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here. So I am representing the state of California and the Division of Apprenticeship Standards. And I always enjoy seeing the resources that DOL puts forth. So thank you, Doug, for that academy. I know it's going to be an incredibly helpful resource to all of us. We are all very busy trying to build apprenticeship programs, and it's hard to put together those really high quality materials. So I'm excited about what DOL is putting forth. So what I'm excited to share with you a little bit here today is how we're growing apprenticeships in California. And as you may be aware, we're investing a lot of resources into growing apprenticeships. So I want to share a few updates about some funding sources. So to start off with, I wanted to share a little bit of what our journey is in terms of growing apprenticeships. So if you go to the next slide, we put forth some pretty big budget proposals back in 21-22, and when we did that, we did some forecasting. And many of you may have heard of Governor Newsom's big, ambitious goal of serving 500,000 apprentices by 2029. And in California apprenticeship, we kind of organized things into what we call CAC apprenticeships, which is the California Apprenticeship Council, which is like building trades programs and fire trades, and IACA programs. So IACA stands for the Interagency Advisory Committee on Apprenticeships, which is our shorthand for all apprenticeships outside of the building and fire trades. So healthcare, public sector, tech, probably what you all are doing here today. So we did some forecasting as to how many apprentices do we need to serve to reach that 500K goal. So our big goal here is to be serving around 200,000 IACA apprentices by 2029. So it was fun recently to go back to this and say, so how are we doing? Right? We're 2 years into this journey, into these really significant investments. How are we doing on that journey? And what I'm very happy to report is that we're crushing it. So well done, everybody. That is 100% the collective effort. Yes, yes. So just looking at the number of active IACA apprentices in 2022, we grew it by 18%. Up until about a week ago when I put together this presentation, we had grown it by 15% this year, and obviously we're not done. And if you go to the next slide, it sort of zooms in on these numbers. So the light blue is what we originally forecasted, and the dark blue is what is our actuals. So we're outperforming our forecasts, which is amazing. And the lines on the top are, when we were making the case for these investments, the green line was what we said would be the status quo. Like if we just did nothing, if we made no new investments, this is how it would grow. And the yellow was what we projected, and the dark blue is our actuals. So it's awesome. Everyone in this room should feel really great about that. I know I feel really great about that, and it's pretty amazing to be able to go back to our governor's office, talk to our labor secretary about like, hey, we're doing it. We're building this movement, it's happening. And I know that that's because of the collective work of all of you. And I know that we're just embarking on this journey. And there's a lot of work ahead, so I'm excited about that work ahead. One of the key investments that we have made that I want to make sure that you all are aware of is the Apprenticeship Innovation Funding. So this is funding that DAS is putting forth. It's formula funding that is based on the number of apprentices that you are serving. So it's $3,500 per apprentice per year, prorated to the month, plus a $1,000 completion bonus to apprenticeship program sponsors, which could be an apprenticeship intermediary, it could be a community college, it could be a single employer. We're pretty flexible on the organization type, but whoever is the program sponsor can receive this funding, and we hope that this is part of that sustainable equation for being able to run your program. And then importantly, we also have the training funding, which is to help offset the cost of training, and this is benchmarked to related and supplemental instruction funding, for those of you who know what that is. But it's essentially, in the past year, it was $8.82 per hour. In this coming year, it's going to be $9.98 per training hour. So if you go to the next slide, where we are with AIF is that we are just literally this week finalizing the awards and payments going out, and so we are going to be making an announcement very soon. Keep your ear out and looking in your email for an announcement around the first year of AIF awards. And we're also opening up this week public comment. We want to hear from you all, whether you went for the funding or whether you decided not to go for the funding. We would love to hear your feedback on how that went, how we can improve the process, because our plan is to open up the next round in Q1 of 2024. So probably in like February, March, we will be opening up the next round of submissions for AIF, and that formula will be based on the apprentices that you served in 2023. So please keep an eye out for all of those things. I want to make sure those were on your radar. And if you go to the next slide, breaking news this week is that I'm excited to share with you all that we, like the overall structure for a new funding opportunity, which is called the California Opportunity Youth Grant. So our clever acronym here is the COYA grant. So the intent of this grant is to try to invite more opportunity youth into apprenticeship and to really demonstrate how, I love the happy nodding heads, yes, to demonstrate how impactful apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship can be for these opportunities. We know there are over 500,000 opportunity youth in the state of California, and we really see that apprenticeship can be a key mechanism to lift them up and give them economic opportunity. So we are going to be opening up this grant in January or February of 2024, and we are making $25 million available in this first round of the grant. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of the structure of that, because I want you all to be able to be starting to get organized to hopefully go for the grant. So just to ground you, this grant was enabled through a budget bill in 22-23 and then further funded in 23-24. And the initial legislation really put forth that they wanted to fund both new programs and existing programs, apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships, but really core objective is to get opportunity youth into apprenticeship opportunities. And the objective here is that the services delivered through the grant should be primarily through collaborative, mission-driven, community-based organizations who have experience serving opportunity youth. So we're really keeping these things at the center. And then finally, in the framing is also that this is for IACNA programs. It's not intended to be for building trades programs. So with that in mind, the eligible applicants for this funding are going to be entities that have experience serving opportunity youth, at least 2 years of serving opportunity youth, and have demonstrated successes in placing those opportunity youth into employment. So there's a lot of different organizations here that can therefore be eligible. Certainly we have community-based organizations at the top of that list, nonprofits, workforce boards, different unions, different branches of our public education system. Importantly, for-profit entities are not eligible for this funding. If you go to the next slide. So here's the overall funding structure that we're putting forth. We're going to have a planning grant and an implementation grant. And there's going to be pre-apprenticeship grants up to $300K, and apprenticeship planning grants up to $500K. And the idea is that there's about a 1-year performance period on this. And we do aim to have subsequent rounds of this funding, so those who got planning grants could potentially get implementation grants. And the implementation grant is the pre-apprenticeship grant that will be, well, really both categories range from $500K to $2 million, and the performance period would be 3 years on those. And we heard a lot of public comment about the payment structure and how hard it is for nonprofits to only do the reimbursement model. So our answer to that is what we're offering is that all grants will be paid 25% of the grant after the first quarter's approved report, and then it'll be reimbursement of expenses beyond that, with the final 25% not reimbursed because it was paid initially. So that's the payment structure, and just to touch very quickly, I know I'm close on time here. The planning grant, really the intent of the planning grant is to help get programs organized. So the objective with the pre-apprenticeship is to help those eligible organizations that have experience serving opportunity youth to create a program to identify a target registered apprenticeship occupation that they can develop a pre-apprenticeship for, and the apprenticeship planning grant. This is important. The planning grant here, we're offering to help with the support of a creation of a new program, or for a community-based organization or similar such organization to create a partnership with an existing registered apprenticeship program to source opportunity youth into the program, and also to offer supportive services for those opportunity youth going through the program. And so when we go to the implementation grants, you'll see that same sort of spirit reflected. So I'm going to touch very quickly on this because I know I'm going over my time. I see my orange sign. I feel like everyone here wants to know this though, so I'm going to take some liberties. So the implementation grant is for pre-apprenticeship. It has to be registered with DAS, therefore have a linkage to a registered apprenticeship program, not exceed 6 months, and not have paid OJT, that's on-the-job training. But there can be an educational stipend, and the funding structure reflects that. So it's going to be up to $12,000 per pre-apprentice, and our expectation is that half of that, so $6,000 per pre-apprentice, goes towards all of the costs of running the program, and half of it actually could go towards an educational stipend to the pre-apprentice, because we know that that's a key barrier for a lot of opportunity youth to do those training programs. They often can't afford not to work. So if we go, I'll wrap on this slide, which is that the apprenticeship implementation grants, again, you see that structure reflected where it's both for the creation of new programs and supporting effective new programs that are specifically serving opportunity youth, or to go towards community-based organizations or similar such organizations that are serving opportunity youth to recruit them into the program and offer supportive services. So I really wanted to call this out because I don't necessarily think that success on this is a whole bunch of new registered apprenticeship programs only for opportunity youth. I think success in this is just as much getting the organizations out there that already serve opportunity youth effectively to help them connect those opportunity youth into apprenticeship opportunities. So this one is $10,000 per apprentice, and the focus of the funding is really on supportive services. So I will wrap with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adele. Exciting, lots of new resources for expanding apprenticeship here in California. So thank you for that. Up next we have Jeff Ball, the CEO of the Orange County Business Council. So let's give him a warm welcome.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a distinct honor to be with you today during National Apprenticeship Week. As mentioned, I represent Orange County, your friendly oasis down to the south, the 6th most populous county in the nation, you may not have known that, and also an economic powerhouse with lots of job opportunities as we continue to grow. The focus at the Orange County Business Council is economic development for our region, and we recognize that key to attaining this continued growth is the development and retention of a qualified workforce. And this requires effective partnerships that we have built and continue to build between business and education. First, talk about business, the engine of our economy. It's the catalyst for innovation and the heartbeat of our communities. From small enterprises to multinational corporations, businesses play a crucial role in creating jobs, fostering economic growth, and enhancing the quality of life for individuals. In this dynamic landscape that we face here in the 21st century, the role of business is extending beyond just profit making, but also we are increasingly recognized as key stakeholders in addressing both social and environmental challenges. So that then takes me to education, which serves as the foundation upon which our individuals are building their futures. It is not merely a pathway to employment, but a lifelong journey that enriches minds and molds character. And in an era that's defined by rapid technological advancements and globalization, We recognize the demand for a skilled and adaptable workforce has never been greater. A robust education system equips individuals with the knowledge, critical thinking skills, and creativity needed to navigate the complexities of the modern world. It is that bridge that connects one's aspirations with their achievements. So, where do apprenticeships fit into this equation for success, and how do we look at it in Orange County? We view apprenticeships as a critical tool for offering a unique and invaluable avenue for individuals to learn, grow, and contribute to the workforce. By combining practical hands-on experience with theoretical knowledge, apprenticeships bridge that gap between education and employment. It provides a direct link between classroom learning and the demands of the professional world, fostering a skilled and specialized workforce, which is so important today. Apprenticeships not only benefit individuals by offering a pathway to fulfilling and well-compensated careers, but they also contribute to the overall vitality and competitiveness of industries and regions such as ours. And that's why we look so importantly at the great work that all of you do and the importance that it has in our region. Businesses thrive when they have access to a skilled and knowledgeable workforce, and education systems flourish when they are aligned with the needs of industries. Apprenticeships, acting as the linchpin, facilitate that seamless transition from the classroom to the workplace, ensuring that individuals are not only educated, but equipped with the practical skills that are demanded by today's evolving industries. So this interdependence of business, education, and apprenticeships is the cornerstone of a thriving society. We at the Orange County Business Council promote that by having our educational partners at the table and in our leadership. And we strive for an environment where every driven individual, regardless of background, recognizes and seizes the opportunity to reach their full potential. We are proud to be part of and promote such collaboration, and we appreciate all that you as partners are providing in that shared objective. Thank you again for this opportunity to be with you today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jeff. Up next we have John Carr, who's the Senior Manager of Operations with the San Diego Workforce Partnerships. Let's give a warm welcome to John.
Hi, thank you everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm here representing the southernmost part of the Southern California Apprenticeship Network. Our office is just a nice 20-minute drive from the border. I think this 3 minutes is going to go by fast, and I was very ambitious with my slides. So I'm going to give a really high-level overview. This is who we are. We're the San Diego County's Workforce Development Board, approximately 150 employees, and we operate 7 career centers, or AJCCs. I just want to touch a little bit on a few of the initiatives that I'm really excited about that we're working on right now. And next slide. So we're really leaning into registered apprenticeship in the healthcare sector. We've got two occupations that we've recently registered, and we're looking at ways that we can address not only a handful of issues, so our region's behavioral health crisis, also our employers' needs, as well as the recent increase to $25 minimum wage in the healthcare sector. We see registered apprenticeships as a really excellent model to address all of those needs in one. So we started out with substance use counselor training. We also have peer support specialists, and then we'll have, I think the next one is going to be peer support specialists and community health workers. So those are going, 2 minutes. So I'll talk a little bit after healthcare, veering into the more traditional landscape and what we're doing to help support some of our local unions and trades, and then how we're using ERICA funding to break into and help support with supportive services. So we have an apprenticeship readiness program. This is a 250-hour registered apprenticeship program. It's a pre-apprenticeship that connects to registered apprenticeship, and I won't go over everything on that slide. The next one is the Construction Career Jumpstart program, which is in partnership with Electrical Training Institute. This one is a little shorter. It's, I think, a 160-hour We provide supportive services, everybody gets hands-on training with tools, and then on the next slide, what we're really able to do that I'm excited about, we were given a $2 million ERICA grant from DAS. Thank you, Adele and DAS team, wherever you are. And so we're able to use this to support childcare needs for those pre-apprentices, as well as the apprenticeships in those registered apprenticeship programs that we are connecting individuals to. So really just looking at this kind of entire landscape of support as an intermediary and sponsor as a workforce board, where we can support the community with all manner of supportive services, just helping guide them through the registration process. We also have WIOA dollars that we're able to braid in, and so for example, on our substance use counselor apprenticeship, what we're going to do next is provide them with incumbent worker training dollars, which is a WIOA product that is going to help support the next generation of mentors and journey workers, and it's really turning out to be an excellent model. So just wanted to highlight those initiatives, and hopefully I got through that in 3 minutes. I was a little rushed, but thank you so much for having me, and Alex, great work.
Thank you so much, John. Up next, I'm really excited. We have an employer panel being moderated by Michelle Reese. We have the employers who are participating in that. Michelle, come join the stage. We're going to hear from companies who are doing the work and have built programs, and we're excited to hear about their success stories and all the wisdom and lessons learned maybe they have along the way. So let's give them a warm welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Well, first, I want to acknowledge two people without whom we would not be here today, and that is Chris Cagle and Jorge Marquez. I've been at First and pretty much since it started, and these two folks have day jobs, and then because they feel so passionately about apprenticeships, have managed to put together SCAN, turn it into what it is over an incredibly short period of time. So just want to thank them for their leadership. Super excited about this panel today. We have some amazing folks who represent some of the best employers in the country who are implementing apprenticeship programs. We have folks who have been in this game for a very long time, and some folks who are newer into it, but all of them I think are going to have fascinating insights for us today. All right, so y'all, I'm going to run a super tight ship and ask you to be tight with your answers because we have a lot to get through. But I'm going to start, I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves, number one, name, company that you work for and what you do, and also what is your go-to dish at your favorite restaurant, just to warm things up. Tammy, let's get us started.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Tammy Hutchins Nunez, and I'm a Workforce Initiatives Manager with CVS Health, representing California, Oregon, and Washington, working on national, state, and local levels in regards to helping people on a path to better health through education and workforce and pipeline building for our bigger brand of enterprise. What do I love to eat and order at? I would have to say it would be lasagna. An Italian restaurant with some good sausage. Yeah.
All right. John.
My name is John Hello, my name is John Than. I'm an engineer planning analyst for Northrop Grumman Space Manufacturing Engineering. I think we've had one of the longest running apprenticeships here. And my go-to dish is Korean barbecue.
Hi everyone, John Crossway. I'm with Accenture. I am responsible for we call our West Coast business or market unit. Based here in Southern California, grew up in Southern California. Really happy to be here. Go-to dish. I am one that loves Mexican food. I can eat Mexican food at any meal of the day, every day of the week. So anything in the Mexican category is
And Davida.
Hi everybody, I'm Davida Lara. I work for Entertainment Partners. Entertainment Partners is the workforce production management company for the entertainment industry. In short, I'm the executive vice president of Paying Hollywood, so I pay Hollywood. I think we should just say that, right? My go-to food, I'm a New Yorker, it's pizza, and I haven't found it in California yet, period.
All right. So John C., let's start with you. Accenture has taken a lead role in driving more awareness and adoption of apprenticeship programs amongst employers. Why has that been a priority for Accenture? And what was the motivation behind this? So why did Accenture think that apprenticeships were so critical?
So Accenture, for those of you who are not familiar with us, we're a large management consulting company. We have 750,000 people all over the world. North America, and particularly the West Coast, is a big area for us. And our primary goal is to work with companies to help them leverage technology to create new and interesting business change. And so, as you can imagine, we hire a tremendous number of people every year, thousands of people every year. And what we found is that it's like a lot of organizations, it's very difficult to find specific skills, particularly in technology, at the scale that we need to serve our clients. And so in 2016, we kicked off our apprenticeship network program within North America, and more recently, we just kicked off our 10th location, which is Southern California, and we've found it to be an invaluable source of an incredible amount of talent that has come to us outside of traditional channels.
Thank you. John T., got two Johns here. Northrop Grumman has one of the oldest and most well-established apprenticeship programs in the nation. Can you explain how the program got started, how it's grown or evolved over the years, and what are the aspirations for the future?
So Northrop Grumman, then TRW, joined the SB Whip almost from inception. So our first apprenticeship program started in 1978, and that was just a traditional machinist apprentice program. Actually, some of our most experienced managers went through that program in its original inception, starting in the 80s, and they're still with the company now. Now they're managers and subject matter experts. But there's been ebb and flow to that machinist program. It's stopped and started a few times. But the current iteration started in 2018, and that's when we expanded it beyond just traditional machinists. We introduced electrical mechanical technician apprenticeship alongside the machinist, so it was pulled from one pool, but we introduced soldering, a lot of bonding, just composites, expanded it far beyond the original machinist program. And then now, just this year, we expanded it again into structural testing, environmental testing, so we brought in a couple of apprentices doing that. And next year, we hope to expand it further into traditional HVAC, electricians, carpenters. So those are more traditional apprenticeship programs, but we're gonna incorporate it all into ours, and we plan to keep expanding.
How large is it right now? How many apprentices do you have?
Currently, with the full-time, we hold anywhere between 30 and 50 at one time. Then as they graduate out, again, we introduce more into the program. We're hoping to expand that further. But 50 is about what we're holding right now across just our one Redondo Beach site.
Thank you. Tammy, tell us about CVS's innovative apprenticeship program. What roles do you have approved? And what was the problem that the company was trying to solve for through adopting an apprenticeship model? And how effective would you say it's been to date?
So that's a great question. CVS actually first started their apprenticeship program back in 2005 as a pharmacy technician program across the nation. And with that, we have pharmacy technician, we have a store manager in training, we have a pharmacy benefits manager, as well as logistics. What are we bridging the gap in is the high demand of pharmacy technicians across the nation, licensed, unlicensed, but how do they get there? Do we work with the colleges? Do we work with the nonprofit organizations to create those pipelines in non-traditional ways? So we are looking at making sure that we are providing those opportunities, and apprenticeships was the way to actually get that going. Through California, we actually have only been an apprenticeship model since 2022. And so with that, we were the first of CVS to become dually registered with DAS and DLL. So making an impact across the nation, making it across the state, we've been able to impact the numbers of employment associates that are retained in our business today.
Great, thank you. DaVita. So Entertainment Partners is newer to the apprenticeship game. And just as a little bit of background, DaVita, you and I first met to talk about the apprenticeship model a little over a year ago. And now EP is going to be starting apprenticeships in 2 different roles. First, can you tell us a little bit about what EP does as a company, and why this made sense to you so quickly? Because I have to say that when DaVita and I sat down for lunch and I told her about apprenticeship, she was immediately like, yes, let's go. But it did take you a while to get the other folks in EP to sort of buy in. So tell us a little bit about that process and why that occurred, and why do you think that sometimes it takes a little time to get folks to embrace this model?
Well, it's been quite a journey, so thank you for the journey. And initially when we thought about it, you think about what we do. I take care of human capital, right? So if you think about the credits you see in movies and TVs, all those credits, that's what we pay. So that's what we take care of. People don't know that job exists. People don't know that job exists in entertainment. Because for whatever reason, I don't know why people don't know. People gotta get paid to do this, right? But the more important part of it is that payroll typically sits within an organization, within their finance or HR department, and it's typically a job that's taught on the job, right? In entertainment, the most incestuous place in the world, you're usually getting a job because your mom or your grandmother or someone was on the set. So you're usually getting in the finance or production finance office through that avenue. I think people are now starting to learn that EP, how we support the production finance office and what that means. Now when you say payroll, payroll's like, well, it's payroll. First of all, payroll is the sexiest job in the world. I said so. The reality is it is within entertainment very different than it is outside. So you're saying to yourself, why would we look into apprenticeship within the entertainment industry, and most corporate companies wouldn't even think to look at payroll? Because in payroll and entertainment, the paymaster, we call them, they're responsible for understanding every contract that's paid, and it's over 1,200 in the industry. Everybody who knows about these strikes knows that we've been waiting for it to be over for that. It takes a level of expertise that is at step level training. So I'm like, okay, the training is step level, you just can't come in a job and do it day one. So wow, that sounds like an apprentice to me. So I'm still listening to the program and build within it how to do it, but what's so difficult in trying to explain how to get a person to an apprenticeship program is the administrative and the bureaucratic headache of getting that through your company and explaining that you need support from a training perspective, you need funding for that, you need to attract people into the space. I said, I don't have a problem attracting people into payroll, I promise you I don't, right? I don't, because I'm taking care of human capital, and we're pushing that accordingly. Michelle and Bill Within have been really good about understanding how to navigate through some of the challenges. No slavish shade to DOJ, but the reality is, like, when you're dealing with government agencies, it's extremely difficult. Add that red tape to your already corporate red tape, and you'll never get it done. So I love the fact that we were able to sit down and break that down and compare it to some of the other traditional apprenticeship programs and take a non-traditional approach to get it approved.
Thank you. John C. The apprenticeship model makes sense for both job seekers and employers. That's super clear. But the reality is that compared to European countries, there has been very little uptake and adoption of the apprenticeship model. in the US outside of transit construction. So why do you think that is? And what can we do to change that? You're working and talking with employers every day, you're consulting with them about this. Like, what are you hearing from employers?
Well, first off, I do have to comment, Paymaster does sound pretty sexy. So it is true. So Accenture works with thousands of organizations around the world. All of them, many of them, do struggle with talent and talent attraction, attracting top talent, curating talent. Most organizations, as you might guess, use traditional channels, and that often is through universities or hiring directly out of industry. So if you think about that, it really does eliminate a pretty broad set of the population that has enormous potential. And I think it's just a matter of organizational memory and the way we are structured within the market to bring talent in. And that's, we have hardened processes in which and standard sources in which we go to. And so what we found with apprenticeships is that we first started with goals of hiring 20% of our new hires, entry-level positions, through non-traditional channels. And some of that was experimentation, opening up new nodes around North America. I think we started in Chicago and found tremendous success, not just in attracting the talent, but also seeing that talent come to fruition and prevail, in our model. A lot of what we do is based on technology. And so what we found is that unless you're hiring someone directly from an engineering college, most people that come into Accenture are educated but may not have the specific skills that they're going to apply in the specific technology at the client. And so leveraging those same training techniques, we invest tremendously every year in training our workforce, over $1 billion a year, but applying that training to individuals that don't come from a 4-year education, we found to be just as effective. And so that is, we've started to expand the program now into multiple cities. Southern California is our 10th region in North America, and so far we've seen a lot of success with it.
Great. Next question is for Tammy, but I'm gonna, if any of the other panelists have thoughts on this, I think this is the most, one of the most interesting questions that we can answer. So Tammy, in your opinion, as you advocate for the CBS apprenticeship program, both internally and externally, what do you find are the most common misconceptions that people have about the apprenticeship model, and how can you overcome those?
It's a great question, and I come through that every single day, working internally and externally through partnerships across the counties, the state, also my internal partners through my organization. How it's important to be able to have those relationships first before you start talking about the model, right? You need to have the understanding of what the positions are available, what it is that we can build upon, but also understand the demands of our business and where we're going with the communities in which we serve in healthcare. So we found that pharmacy technicians is one, right? So the misconception is with our internal pieces, it was like, we already hire them, we already train them, let's just, whatever. How would this impact us? Because we're already doing the work. Externally, it's partnering to make sure that everybody understands that we are creating an opportunity to be able to bring individuals into our organization on a non-traditional way of being able to partner on something that's already there, that we already have built in-house, but we also are utilizing the training and additional standards, but using the opportunities with the schools and DOL, DAS, to be able to create other opportunities within our whole organization. So misconceptions also, I would have to say, would be that they don't look at our pharmacy technician apprenticeship program as an apprenticeship. They're like, that's not traditional, that's not construction, that's not, and so training and developing and influencing those that we are looking at non-traditionals to create other opportunities and other pipelines for the communities and individuals.
John, you all have expanded your roles a lot. Have you had any sort of internal pushback, misconceptions as you're thinking about moving into different roles with this model?
No, we haven't, because we've had proven success model from the original apprenticeship program, and the other organizations that see our model working have actually approached us about how we started, how we do it, how non-traditional apprenticeship works, and we're happy to help our other groups get started. So there has not been pushback recently, and actually it's been just a lot of interest in being part of it.
I'll put my HR hat on for a second, because some of the biggest misconceptions come from your own internal HR departments, and let you know that. Partly because we don't always do a good job of explaining the earnings potential of an apprentice as you would any other role. That's an issue, right? So, well, you're not going to pay them as much, or so on and so forth. And the reality is you are. The expectation is they do have the same earnings potential, so there's a press issue with that when you're explaining a model that people do have the correct earnings potential, and also for a person going into it to think that just because they have to learn a skill set for the job that they're doing now doesn't mean they don't bring a skill that's valuable to you. And that's the favorite thing that I'm finding, that people from other industries or other disciplines are bringing so much more to my roles, even while they're learning. And like yours, John, mine is very technical too. So because we're teaching them the system, but they bring so much more experience outside of other industries. And celebrating that in an apprenticeship program, I think will push it through your organization faster.
Go ahead.
I'd like to add that, as we are working with the community and community-based partners and workforce boards, it's the definition of what is perceived out there, right? Like, what is an apprentice? What is a pre-apprenticeship? What is an OJT? What is an internship? What is, so all of those different developments in our genre of the community and what we're trying to do, we're all speaking the same language. We're just looking to strive for the same results, but that misconception is, what is the true definition of what we're trying to do?
We held an event about 2 weeks ago for Black-owned businesses and Black executives to talk about apprenticeships. And one of the things that we noted there that I think was an aha moment for a lot of people was we said, you can't start an apprenticeship program as community service, right? This is not doing a favor for somebody, putting them, somebody who's not quite right in a job. It has to be solving a problem for the employer. You have to have a full-time job that you were hiring for. It is budgeted, right? You need that talent in. That's the only way that the apprenticeship model is going to work, is if it's doing just as much good and solving just as much of a problem for the employer as it is for the job seeker. Davida, the apprenticeship model can help employers access more diverse groups of talent. So the opportunity to move into a new career, but to do so through a full paid position instead of having to go back to school is appealing to a broader range of job seekers. How important was the diversity angle for EP as you were considering starting this? And that's what my first question. And the second one is, how realistic is it that people who have never been a paymaster before can really learn on the job?
Two really great questions. Well, I'll answer the last one first, because the first one is a given to me, right? Do I advocate for diversity? I mean, how you doing? The reality is it's not just diversity and background, it's thought, it's employment, it's education. I advocate that in any situation. So I always laugh at that question, and not for you, Michelle, but because the reality is it's a must. It's not a thing that's up for discussion for me. So diversity of my workforce is very clear. How you attract a different workforce is about creating those opportunities. And I think, like I said earlier, entertainment was bubble. Like when we knew, we had some of the very same jobs that exist in other industries within our world. So bringing attention to that was huge. As far as that, there are other jobs that entertainment partners like other than Paymaster, but Paymaster is my favorite. And Paymaster is my favorite because of what we do. We're taking care of human capital. So when you ask me how realistic is anybody can do payroll, how realistic is it that you want to get paid? All right then, so you're going to figure it out. That's the reality, is when you're explaining to people what the end result is and they can match my passion for what I'm about to do, then I know you can do it. So that's the realism for me, is very realistic, because you're going to be your favorite customer.
Everybody knows important it is to get paid. John T., as employers in the room are considering whether or not they can or should start an apprenticeship program, what is the advice that you would give them? Like, what do you think are the most important factors in ensuring that an apprenticeship program can be successful?
I think before you start, you need to have a strong foundation. You need to have goals and expectations set in mind. And also, you need buy-in